You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Manatee County deputies continue to look for a man they say shot and killed another man in Palmetto. Deputies are looking for Jacorian Christopher Lee, who deputies say shot and killed Tommy Brown Jr. while he sat in his car last night. Deputies believe Lee approached Brown's car and began arguing. Once the feud escalated, Lee hopped in Brown's back seat. That's when deputies say Lee shot Brown before running away from the scene. Anyone with information about Lee's whereabouts is being asked to call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. And police are also trying to solve an unusual incident at a Lowe's home improvement store in Northport. They're looking for the two men and woman in these surveillance images. They are not being charged, but police believe they have some information about a customer who was attacked inside the store yesterday. Officers say a customer was at the Lowe's on Tuscola Boulevard in Northport around noon when he was pushed down by another customer. If you recognize anyone in these pictures, call Northport Police.
A new study named Florida's US 41 the second most dangerous road in the country. According to a fleet management company in Canada, US 41 is number 2 with 714 fatal crashes over the last decade. Many local drivers we talked to who use 41 were not surprised. They described the highway as congested with impatient drivers. Florida Highway Patrol Trooper Ken Watson says this is why it's important to be a defensive driver and aware at all times.
Not only are we rushing to our destination, we're also multitasking while we're operating our motor vehicle. And this is something that the Florida Highway Patrol wants you to cease doing. We want to try to educate as many people as we can and try to convince them that the most important thing you're doing while behind the wheel is getting to that destination safely.
Trooper Watson says from January through September of last year, Florida had 85 million visitors, and he attributes more fatal collisions to more people on the road.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office continues to search for a person that fired a gun at a Suncoast park last week.
Now many of the park's visitors are on high alert. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo is live at Urfer Park in Sarasota tonight with more on the story. Dwayne?
Well, Jacqueline, Scott, many of the park visitors here now have heard of the shooting and are saying that they'll be more aware of their surroundings and, more importantly, call in anything suspicious. On any given day, Urfer Family Park on the corner of Bee Ridge and Honore will see plenty of parents, children, and even dog walkers. But according to one frequent visitor, last Thursday was a little different.
I was kind of surprised. I really was, because it's such a clean, quiet area.
Although Evie Green, who has visited the park for many years, and many others who frequent the park shared the same sentiment. Some say there have been other issues.
There's been some break-ins that I've heard about, people breaking into the cars and things like that.
One woman claiming she dialed 911 when she saw something out of the ordinary.
I've seen somebody with a crossbow. I don't know whether he was fishing but it was very close to a family area.
But overall, Sarasota County's Director of Park and Natural Resources, Carolyn Brown, says this is a safe park and the shooting was just an isolated incident.
In fact, at our 160 parks, we have no real occurrences whatsoever.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office put out a statement assuring the public that our parks and beaches are routinely patrolled by deputies throughout the county.
Safety is our #1 priority in presenting safe parks to our community, and we work hand in hand with the Sheriff's Office to make sure that our visitors and residents have a fun and safe experience.
Experiences that Green says she will continue to have with her grandkids. After hearing that there were shots fired, that doesn't deter you from coming to this park?
No, not at all. Here I am.
Now, anyone with information is asked to call the Sarasota Sheriff's Office or call Crime Stoppers at 941-366-TIPS. Back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. And I didn't see a lot of kids in the background there, and it may be because it's a little cooler out tonight.
It really is.
Meteorologist Steve Newman is in for Bob tonight. Steve?
It's not only cooler, but it's windy too. That makes you want to stay inside. And if you are going out tonight, you're going to need a jacket, or even warmer than that if you're a native Floridian. Temperatures, 24-hour temperature change from 6 o'clock yesterday to now. 12 degrees cooler in Tampa, 14 in Orlando. It's cool even down in the Florida Keys behind that cold front that came through earlier. And across our viewing area, anywhere from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 degrees cooler now than it was 24 hours ago. It's all because of this cold front that's moved by, and there's another one that will come through on Wednesday that will just reinforce it and even make our mornings colder as we move into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. There goes the rain. We didn't get very much of it. We'll show you how much we got in a little bit. But right now, our planning for the evening, it's going to be a blustery evening with temperatures cooling off right on through the 50s, about 50 degrees by 5 a.m. and bottoming out at sunrise around 47. So it's going to be chilly. Our complete forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Steve, thank you so much. A follow-up now to the investigation into what caused an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in a Northport community. According to a report completed by the Florida Department of Health, the growth of Legionella bacteria was found in a hot water heater at the fitness area of Island Walk. Testing was also done on the community swimming pool and spa, but returned negative results. Despite the negative finding, the health department says it believes the pool and spa area are where people came into contact with that bacteria. 13 people tested positive for the disease in late February.
Manatee County investigators are looking into who posted a threatening message on the wall of a Southeast High School bathroom. The school was put on a shelter-in-place status today, which is a lower-level lockdown. A robocall was also sent out to parents to let them know what was happening. There's no word yet on if someone has been linked to that threat. Deputies and school officials are investigating.
Yesterday, Governor Rick Scott signed a sweeping education bill into law. One of the provisions in the bill would allow for a voucher program for students who have been bullied in public school to attend a private school. This as public schools work to combat bullying. Venice High School started a new program called VHS Connects. It's a 45-minute class that meets once a week. Students are able to meet with counselors or other students to work through any bullying issues.
It's a starting point, and again, that's something that we're going to continue to build upon and see what kind of gains we can make to support our students.
The class meets every Monday morning at 10 a.m. for 45 minutes.
The financial strain of a City of Sarasota-owned and operated Bobby Jones Golf Club continues to deepen. The average number of rounds are down 20% over the last 2 years. And for the first time in recent memory, course staff are asking the city to subsidize part of its operating expenses. They'll need an extra $425,000 in the current fiscal year, and early estimates for the next budget are closer to $1 million. This is months after a consultant recommended up to $21 million in course renovations and improvements. So is all this worth keeping the historic local course up and running? Well, it depends on whom you ask.
It's something that we can offer our citizens, expose them to golf. Not all cities are that fortunate.
I think $1 million subsidy to golf for a city our size is unacceptable.
City officials say there are no plans to sell any part of Bobby Jones' property, but there is a possibility it could be downsized in the future from the existing 45 holes. In that scenario, the converted land would likely become another type of public park for residents to enjoy. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, the father of one of the Parkland shooting victims uses art to get his message out about gun control.
And people wait all year for stone crab season here in Florida, but what's causing a decline in recent harvests? A new report may have the answers.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been arrested in the state of Florida, the state attorney's office is already working on your prosecution. It's time to work on your defense. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
The father of a Parkland school shooting victim is using art to demand change to gun control policies. Manuel Oliver had this mural painted to honor his late son. Joaquin Oliver was among the 17 students and teachers killed in the February 14th shooting. The mural reads, "We demand a change." The artwork is part of the Parkland 17 installation, an art exhibit organized by Miami Heat's Dwayne Wade and created by Miami area artist Evan Prestane.
A watchdog group says Florida is on pace for another record year for manatee deaths. So far, 166 manatees have died statewide through March 2nd. Cold spells are to blame for 51 of those deaths. A spokesperson for the Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility says Florida manatees are one big freeze away from an ecological disaster. Red tide and boating deaths are another concern. Florida's annual manatee counts have more than doubled in the past 20 years. The federal government reclassified them from endangered to threatened. In 2017, 538 manatees died compared with 472 manatee deaths in 2016. And a new study by Mote Marine suggests the future of stone crab harvesting could be in jeopardy due to ocean acidification. The study found that stone crab embryos develop more slowly and fewer eggs hatch when acid levels changed. Ocean acidification is the ongoing decrease in pH levels due to the absorption of carbon dioxide in seawater. This comes from fertilizer and animal runoff. Also this year, Mote expects to publish the first ever research investigating how Florida red tide algae affects stone crab reproduction.
The number of Floridians out of work is starting to rise. The state's unemployment rate for January remains at 3.9%. That's lower than the national rate of 4.1%. In December, state officials announced there were 369,000 people without jobs in Florida. Since then, that number has gone up by nearly 28,000 people. However, national data shows Florida still remains among the top states in job growth over the last year.
Stay with us. Steve Newman will have your first alert weather forecast when we return.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
All right, crew, let's get started. Kurt?
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
The change is coming. Oh, I guess it's here, isn't it?
Yeah. Some like it hot, some like it cold. We got a little for everybody coming up.
I don't like the cold.
Well, you're not going to like the next few days. It's going to be windy tonight, too, so make sure you take a windbreaker out if you're heading out of the town. You can see the wind whipping up the surf on Sarasota Bay today. Very choppy. It'll be choppy at least the first half of tomorrow, although things will start calming down tomorrow afternoon. But a lot of problems if you're thinking about going to the coast, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. Right now it is 64 degrees, dew point 51, the humidity 63, and that's going to go down. It's going to get drier and drier as we move through the next couple of days, brought in with northwest winds at 20 miles per hour. Our high today, 71, last night's low 64. You can see how that stacks up to normal. And we only got 3/100ths of an inch of rain at the airport, so we're over an inch below normal for the month and over 3 inches below normal for the year, and it does not look good even in the long-range forecast. Don't see any good chance of rain as far ahead as we can see. Now, there is a lake wind advisory in effect across all interior areas of the northern 2/3 of Florida, and also a high surf advisory all up and down the shore of the Gulf Coast. And we also have not only that, a rip current threat. So along the coast, I think that'll improve tomorrow, but in the morning especially, there's a pretty good danger of rip current in many of our beaches, and small craft advisories as well. All part of a cold front that has gone past, and behind it, cooler, drier air. This is only the first of 2 fronts that's going to be passing over us this week. And the rain, look at it. We missed almost all of it. You saw we only got 3/100ths of an inch here. If you were over the water, you'd almost got 9 inches of rain. These are radar estimates. Out in the Gulf, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches down through the Florida Strait. South Florida got anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch for the most part. But if you look over the Sun Coast, I'll get out of the way so you can see it, we had just 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch in most locations, a little more in inland areas. Now, Here is a major nor'easter brewing. World News Tonight will have more details on this coming up, but just very heavy snow, maybe thunder snow going on through North Carolina. The whole area of snow is just increasing, building up to a major storm. This is going to be more problems, I think, than the last two nor'easters because it's going to hug closer to the coast, meaning very heavy snow bands will set up. It's going to be windier, more snow, near blizzard conditions in many areas, and you can just see the increase in snow going on in the northeastern United States. We're going to escape that, so our little cool wave is nothing by comparison. Right now, New York City 41, Boston 40. They're going to cool off and get a lot more snow as we move to the next 24 to 36 hours, all because of this culprit. This is the storm right now off the North Carolina coast, and attached to it is that cold front that came through and brought us the blustery conditions. Look at this. We have another cool front coming through on Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Wednesday night it will pass by and bring us even drier and cooler air. If you're going out on the water tomorrow, be alert to all those warnings I mentioned earlier. Northwest winds tomorrow 10 to 20, seas 4 to 6 feet, and there's a high surf advisory in effect. Here's my forecast for tonight. It's going to be blustery, breezy, and cool, 47, with those north winds 10 to 15 with higher gusts. And tomorrow, partly sunny day. A fresh day, you're going to feel the lower humidity in the air with a high of only 66. And your 7-day outlook shows that fresh day tomorrow, a little bit cooler on Wednesday, and then that front comes through late Wednesday night, cooling us off to 43 on Thursday morning and Friday morning. Then a warming trend sets in on Friday, and a great weekend. Boy, I think this is going to be Chamber of Commerce weather as we warm up to where we pretty much should be. The average 77 and 57 is just about on the money, and it gets even warmer as we move late in the weekend and the early part of next week. Linda?
Coming up, we'll take you on a tour inside the new West Coast Black Theater building.
This week, the possible meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. But where, when, under what conditions? Plus, all eyes on the forecast. Will nor'easter number 3 strike? World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Dottoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dottoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dottoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
On March 22nd, a dream will come true. The West Coast Black Theater Troupe will open its new education and administration building.
It's a step into the big time for the theater and the fulfillment of a dream for founder Nate Jacobs. ABC7's Linda Carson takes us on a tour.
As the second building in the West Coast Black Theater Troupe Complex opens after a $5 million renovation, it lifts the troupe to new heights.
It's a miracle before our eyes. One of the things that I'm so amazed about when I walk on our new campus is what a community can do to make something good happen.
For Nate Jacobs and the West Coast Black Theater Troupe, it's been a long journey over a short space.
One of the actors, Leon Pitts, told me 4 streets up, Coconut Avenue, is where we started putting up shows in your living room, your 1-bedroom apartment.
They've come a long way since then. The entryway to the new complex is through a courtyard that joins the two buildings.
You come up a grand staircase, there's going to be a fountain, which a donor's donated to us, and then just a room for intermission to hang out and be together, have some cocktails.
On the first floor of the Benz building,
the space we're standing in right now can be 3 education classrooms with dividing walls and it's a very flexible space, and at night it can be dinner for 200, a catered meal, and go in and see the theater.
This will be called the Nate Jacobs Education Wing. The box office and administration offices will be on the 2nd floor, plus the door from the walk-in safe from the historic building.
This is an extremely heavy door and heavy safe. And even just to open it is quite a challenge in itself.
We have a rooftop terrace on this building that's a whole nother entertaining space because we have a flat roof where you can see the fireworks or the sunset.
And renovations will soon start on the theater.
That's going to be a 5-star theater space. You know, we'll actually have real theatrical seating, you know, accommodations that will make that building more comfortable for our patrons, like larger restrooms.
Plus an additional training facility called the Howard Millman Studio.
The design of the theater, we want to maintain the quaintness of that, which is one of the things that we really want to work toward, is keeping the quaintness of the existing theater.
It will be a tremendous addition to this area of town.
It makes the whole community proud.
Of course, this $6 million project still needs $1 million for completion, and that $1 million will include the renovation of this theater building, and for the right donation, you can still have this building named after you. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Looks like they can really do a lot with all of that space that they now have.
Yeah, I did a story at that Benz building a few years ago, and when it was still for sale. And the transformation is incredible. I'm so glad that we have saved that historic building and found a new use for it, too.
And it's a gem on both parts, for its use and the existing building.
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
Gem.
World News Tonight with David Buer is coming up next.
We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night and enjoy the sunset.